I get those goosebumps every time. I need the Heimlich, throw that to the side. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. When you
Greetings technicians, this is Admin Crew here, your coach of the Toronto Star Raptors, bringing you another team builder in the PCL. This is Season 3, Week 5, and we are taking on Coach Fury, the coach of the, I believe he rebranded his team name, so he's the Desolated Earth Bladers, instead of the Primordial Cold Surgers this time around. And if you guys didn't know, me and Fury have this back and forth record almost. In last season, I believe I beat him in the regular season, but he was the one who knocked us out in round 1 of playoffs as the Primordial Cold Surgers. And also in TDL, I sort of lost to him. I definitely had that game. I believe it was in tier 3 and below, and I sort of mind gamed myself thinking that he had a Scarf Metachamp that game, and he was banned at the entire time, and I actually end up losing the game to him as well. So this time around, he actually has Mega Metachamp instead of regular Metachamp. So of course we know that Mega Metachamp is going to be Scarf too, right? Anyways, jokes aside, so his entire roster should hop on to your right momentarily. And in this video, I'm just going to go over the sets I'm bringing. And in case you guys didn't know, the Raptors actually undergone through quite a few transactions and trades last week. We have a brand new roster here. I might do a, I guess a free agency video for the Raptors a little bit later, maybe sometime next week, covering the transactions that I made and the reason behind them and so on and so forth. But in this video, you guys will see some new faces for sure. So without further ado, let's just get started. So first up, we have our new member for the Raptors, Nero the Tyranitar, packing the weakness policy with the ability Stand String. And the movesets are Dragon Dance, Crunch, Stone Edge, and Facade. This set is actually, I guess, one of my most proud set for this week. Looking at Fury's roster, I believe the fastest among his roster, including his Mega, is actually base 100 Meta Metachamp, and I believe the other one is the Confe. And so this Tyranitar can pretty much sweep through his entire team, which he did in quite a few battles of mine between of my mocks between me and Lo-Fi. So the idea is basically his Nido Queen lead is actually so good against me because of its coverage. It not only gets Rock Slide but also gets Bolt Beam plus the ground coverage, which is really good against me. And its speed tier as well. It's actually 1 point faster than Klefki. I actually brought quite a few things for the Nido Queen. And he also has a Dragonium Z alongside of Dragonite, one of the best setup sweepers that get access to Dragon Dance in my opinion, because that multi-scale ability. That's why I do have the Sandstream T-Tar here this week to try to break his scale. And he did try to sending his Dragonite in past games, I believe turn 1, just to straight up set up. That's why Tyranitar is going to be my lead most of the time, because the fact that not only it covers the Dragonite lead to break the potential multi-scale with my Sandstream, and also covers the Nidoqueen lead. That's my EV spreads here, with the Adamant Nature and a lot of attack and a lot of speed, just to ensure myself to guarantee to outspeed his Mega Metachamp after I am at +1, a Jolly Nature Metachamp of course, and the HP investment and the defense investment plus the def investment, I guess mostly the HP and defense investment, actually allows me to live a, I believe I calculated without Life Orb. Don't quote me on that, but basically it lifts a lot of shit from his entire roster. Not only lifts it has a very good chance to live a spec modest Hydro Pump coming from Rotom Wash if he's more of an offensive variant. And I have Willow Facade here for his Will-O-Wisp if he's more a defensive variant. And if he goes for Hydro Pump, it will trigger my weakness policy. So that's one thing this T-Tar can trigger weakness policy on. And the other one will be pretty big, which is the Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen primarily, as I mentioned before, this thing will most likely be my lead. If he does lead with a Nidoqueen, If he's more of a bulky variant, I believe like Earth Power is not a 2-hit KO for sure, and I believe even if he's Life Orb, a Life Orb, Sheer Force Modest Nidoqueen, it's a roll to 2-hit KO with my set. So so that's really good there. So basically I can Dragon Dance up as he goes for an attack. It will trigger my weakness policy, and the following turn I will be able to outspeed and just hit him up with that +3 crunch or stone edge, whatever I decide to go with. Obviously this thing can also trigger the weakness policy on that Dragonite in case he is bringing Outrage Dragonium Z. He doesn't want to lock in his Outrage that early before I lose my keys. Again, Facade is also good in case I get status if I get Parrot or from that Rotom, or I guess status just Toxic overall, but it's primarily for Will-O-Wisp, and it gives me a way to dish out damage after I am burned. So I'm really excited about this set. I hope it put in the finance of work. So next up we have the other pair of the Sandstream duo, the Garchomp, Chompo the Garchomp, the shiny Garchomp actually. We do have Mega Garchomp here. I did end up dropping Mega Absol for Mega Garchomp, as we do already have another Dark type replacement on our team, being the Tyranitar. And obviously the ability is Rough Skin before Mega, and packing the Garchomp tight with the movesets Iron Head, Earth Power, no, Earthquake, Swords Dance, and Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw, Earthquake for my dual stab, it hits his entire roster, and Iron Head for his dual fairies. And in case you guys didn't know, once I Mega Evolve, I actually get the ability Stand Force as Mega Garchomp. So that means my Iron Head will be doing banded damage. You will get a 1.5 attack boost. All my ground type and I guess steel type move will get a boost in the stand. So I know Earthquake does more than Iron Head most of the time, even Iron Head being super effective. I guess Iron Head is slightly better than Earthquake if he goes into one of these fairies, obviously. But sometimes I don't want to click that Earthquake simply because he does have that Dragonite in. If he does want to make an offensive double, I don't have to play that prediction game. I can just go for Iron Head in the stand. So that's really good. And Swords Dance just be able to outspeed his entire roster and be able to set up a Swords Dance on turn 1, and because I'm faster, I can probably ditch out another hit on the following turn because the Mega Garchomp is so bulky. So I'm actually running a Jolly Nature on Garchomp this time around, simply because his fastest mon is base 100, being that Mega Medicham, but Mega Medicham does get access to both Fake Out and Bullet Punch, 2 priority moves, and plus the Comfey, who also has base 100 speed, but it does get access to Draining Kiss. It's something that I have to be wary of, along with its Tri-Edge ability. I believe that's what it's called. It will be able to ditch out a priority Fairy Draining Kiss against my Garchomp, so my speed doesn't really actually matter against it. So this thing is primarily for the Mega Medicham. And Rough Skin, because the Bullet Punch and Fake Out, 2 ways of his priority coming from that Mega Medicham, will make contact. That's why I do have the Rough Skin, in case I do need that chip damage. And the max attack and the speed obviously is for his base 100. That's why I am running Jolly Nature with a lot of speed. So my idea is to keep it on Mega as much as possible. If he doesn't bring any of his base 100s, I can feel free to go for Mega, because most likely I will be able to outspeed his entire team even without the 102 base speed. I believe Mega Garchomp is actually 92. So anyways, up next we do have one of our key components for this week, Proton the Klefki. No pun intended. Packing the Leftover and the ability Prankster. The movesets are Spikes, Reflect, Magnet Rise, and Play Rough. I actually did play around a little bit with my set here. Initially, I believe I did not have dual screen, I believe. Instead of Magnet Rise, I had, I forgot what I had. It was like Toxic or something. But anyways, so Spikes, because his hazard control is very limited, but overall I don't think it's very good against his team, simply because he doesn't break the scale on Dragonite, and at the same time his Rotom is levitating, and but he doesn't have a rapid spinner, I don't believe, and I believe his two reliable way of hazard removing would be the defog from Rotom Wash and the Comfey. I mentioned the Comfey quite a few times because a setup Comfey with Calm Mind and Draining Kiss actually can give me a lot of trouble, but then again it's hard to walled by Volcarona if it's not packing like HP Rock or something, but even then I can just Quiver Dance alongside of it and probably roost off the damage. So that's something he has to prep for. This is actually the first week that I am not bringing Volcarona, despite the fact that my roster is actually built around Volcarona. Anyways, we do have Reflect here for his physical attackers, primarily that Dragonite, because it's such a huge threat. After Dragon Dance, a Dragonite with Earthquake can pretty much sweep through my entire team, because I don't really have a lot of switch-ins, and that's why I do have that Reflect here. Without the Light Clay, because I want a little bit more recovery here with my leftover, because I am bringing the Sand this week, and Klefki as a Steel type is now going to be taking that stand residual damage, and on top of that I'll be recovering off with my leftovers, so that's a really you know, a net positive comparing to my opponent, who will probably be taking stand damage, obviously given that they're not Steel, Rock, or ground types. Anyways, so Magnet Rise is actually a very clutch move. I brought it again after the week, I believe it was week 1, I brought it against Paluki and his Mamoswine. It's very similar idea here, simply because Nidoqueen gets the same, or I guess even better coverage than Mamoswine in a sense. Not only gets the Ice Ground coverage similar to Mamoswine, but it also gets Ice Beam as well. Oh, sorry, T-Bolt as well. So with Magnet Rise, the Nidoqueen will actually not be able to touch me, assuming he's running a Stealth Rock through attack set. The 3 most likely attack is probably going to be Bolt Beam plus Earth Power. He doesn't really need Sludge Wave. Even if he has the Sludge Wave, it does no damage to Klefki anyways, because I'm Steel type. So that's my idea here. If I am in with my Klefki against the Nidoqueen, my first play is always go for the Magnet Rise, and then potentially play accordingly. Maybe even go for a play rough against it, even though it's you know, it's resisted hit. I will be able to gauge what type of Nidoqueen it is. And chances are it probably doesn't have Flamethrower for my Klefki, simply because the other Bow Beam coverage just gives him overall better coverage against my team. Thunderbolt for the Mizuaiko, which is the Mana Feed that I got off Brandon. Shout out to Brandon. Yeah, we did do a trade with the Pixelated Outrages last week. And anyways, back to what I was saying. The EV spread here, just max HP with a lot of defense, primarily to take on the Dragonite. This ensures me to take a +1 Earthquake without having, you know, when I'm at full, almost guaranteed. And just a little bit in speed def in case I need to take a Heat Wave from the Necrozma, which is the best move he can pack for my Klefki. And a little bit in speed simply because I would like to be able to outspeed that Nidoqueen if he's more of a defensive set, and get off a faster play rough to gauge what type of set he is. Obviously after I go for a Magnet Rise, knowing that he cannot touch me. So up next we have TK, the Hitmontop, making his first debut, packing the Assault Vest. This is my second heat set of the week. I'm really proud of this set as well. Max HP with a lot of defense again for that Dragonite. And I'll probably get destroyed by that Necrozma anyways, so and also the Mega Medicham. So that was my idea here. So it doesn't matter if I had the Intimidate or not. I'm not going to be able to switch into the Mega Medicham even if I do have the Intimidate ability. As you can see, I am packing Technician this week. I'm packing a full Technician set. It's about time for you techs to see me bring the true Technician in a league battle, right? So the set itself is very interesting. It's a Rapid Spin for hazard control. I don't really mind the rocks or spikes all that much. I don't even know if he gets spikes, but I'm sure Nidoqueen gets spikes. Anyways, I don't really care. Actually, I don't think Nidoqueen gets spikes. But I don't mind hazards overall all that much because my monster actually resists rocks pretty well. 3 of my members I'm bringing this week do resist rocks, and this is primarily for his sticky web. In case he wants to bring a lead Slurpuff with Focus Sash sticky web, I do have something for it. But if he brings both sticky web Slurpuff with Kofag, that's gonna be a little bit problematic. As I can't really touch the Kofag very well, barring the Thief. Yes, you guys seeing it right, it's Thief. Anyways, I'm gonna go over the other 2 moves first. A Bullet Punch again for belly drumming or a Focus Sash Slurpuff after his Unburden is triggered. I can pick it off with a Bullet Punch. It does over 30% to a standard Slurpuff set with my Technician ability. I believe it's 33 to 35%. And Mach Punch for priority and primarily for his Zangoose, and he loves Zangoose, man. Fury drafted Zangoose quite often in I think every single league that I am in with him, and every single time almost, and primarily for that Sharpedo as well. Sharpedo is actually really good offensively against my team, simply because it gets access to Earthquake as well for Clef Keys, and Liquidation destroys Volcarona and Heligo. But then again, like, my team gets destroyed by anything, right? You guys already know how frail my team is. Anyways, with my investment, 24 attack and Impatient Nature even, and Technician boosted Mach Punch actually has a very good chance to Oko the Shark from full after Stealth Rock or something along the lines. Actually, I think it just straight up Okos the Shark from full, and it has a chance. It has a chance to It also Okos Zangoose after 1 round of Toxic and 1 round of Sand. And after rocks damage. I know that's oddly specific, but it's primarily there for the Sharpedo. I do think Sharpedo is a better brain against me than Zangoose. He doesn't really need both. Anyways, I gone over the EVs pretty. I think I gone over the EVs already, and of course you see it right. I do have Steve. After Technician boost, this actually becomes a 90 base power move, even without the stab bonus. This primarily for his Kofag. This is the best move that I can have on this him on top to be able to touch the Kofag in case he does bring it. But I have a hard time seeing him bringing it. I know he can have Haze on Kofag to counteract my potential sub-roost or sub-QD Volcarona, but it's a losing battle for him simply because he doesn't have very good ways to break my sub. If he does bring the Kofag, he'll be pretty pressured to Haze, and he doesn't have reliable recovery. That's why I don't really see it coming. And I also had Mega Absol, and I do have T-Tar for the Kofag as well. So it's definitely not something I do expect. But in case he does bring it, this thing can act as a pseudo switch-in, potentially get my AV knocked off by the Kofag and be able to steal his leftover with my Thief. So it's just a Technician move, nice tech on my Technician Mon, right? And you already know, I gotta have a full Technician set in order to, in order to back up my Technician's first debut, right? Anyways, so I'm really excited about this set as well. Up next, we do have Novart and Heligo packing the Life Orb for the first time. If you guys know me, I'm not really a big fan of Life Orb unless I'm using a Mon with Sheer Force, because the chip damage to myself is so crucial. A lot of times, simply because it makes a roll not a roll sometimes. So that's something I'm really trying to avoid, and it's very difficult to team build around, because every time if you EV for something, you have to consider the Life Orb recoil as well. Anyways, so the moveset here is Psychic, Sludge Wave, Foul Play, and Stealth Rock. Foul Play in case a D-Knight is set up, and in case he does have physically offensive Necrozma. I believe it's actually more better against my team than a special one this week. And Sludge Wave for my stab, it hits everything, and Psychic for the stuff that Sludge Wave don't hit, which is the Nidoqueen primarily. I do have the Life Orb to be able to KO most variants of Nidoqueen anyways. And Stealth Rock, just like a last move filler, It's my rock setter this week against Dragon Knight team, but I don't see myself going for Stealth Rock unless I want to make a very bold prediction. So I'll just probably have to rely on Cliff Key and the Sand from Tita to deal with the Dragon Knight. It didn't really work out very well in my builder, but I didn't really in my mocks, but I didn't really want to make room for Gligar on the team, just for Stealth Rocks. So that was my idea there. And the same EV spread here as Tita. I believe we do hit the same speed. Obviously, no, same as Garchomp at 330, but same as T-Tar after Dragon Dance. So this is the speed here I need to be able to outspeed his Mega Medicham. And with my investment 40 defense and 20 HP, I actually guarantee myself live I believe it's a Jolly Medicham's Bullet Punch, and I will be able to ditch off one more hit with my Life Orb. So that was my idea there. And but of course I won't be surviving the recoil from the Life Orb. And if he does bring Medicham, I'm pretty sure he's gonna be Jolly instead of Adamant, simply because I do have base 100s. He should bring a Jolly one to at least speed type Wisdom. So that brings me to my next mod here, which is Manaphy. Running Timid Nature again with max speed to potentially speed type with a Mega Medicham and a lot of HP. This is sort of a backup sweeper in case T-Tar fails. I do have the Aguav Berry to be able to get back enough health. I don't really know what item to put on it. I don't have the Waterium Z, or I don't want to put Life Orb on it as well, because I'll get more than enough damage from my Tail Glow. Anyways, so I did get the nickname of Brandon actually. I asked him for his permission to use his nickname he used for his Manaphy when he had it on his team. So Mizuaiko will be with the Raptors for the remaining of the season. So just a lot of HP, so I will be able to set up a Tail Glow. That was my idea, and just a little bit of special attack, and I think this also allows me to be able to set up a Tail Glow in front of a Medicham, and be able to live a high jump kick behind a Reflect, obviously, and potentially trigger my Berry and be able to ditch out a lot of damage the following turn, as I do speed type with it. I believe for the movesets are just Energy Ball, Tail Glow, Surf, and Ice Beam. So the only thing I want to mention here is Surf, but I'll go over the other moves pretty quick. Tail Glow for my setup, obviously, and Ice Beam for the Dragon Knight. I don't do 50% to the Dragon Knight because of his multi-scale, but I won't be going for Ice Beam at all against the Dragon Knight if he's at full anyways, simply because I really have to be wary of that potential weakness policy triggering, and that was my idea. So I'll always be going for a Tail Glow into Ice Beam against the Dragon Knight anyways. So in that way I guarantee to O-code it from full. So Energy Ball is actually there for his Rotom, and my HP investment also allows me to take a T-Ball from the Rotom and be able to set up on that thing if I need to. So that was my idea. Surf is something I actually really want to touch base on. In my mock, I had Scald over Surf. I personally believe Scald is always a better move than Surf, but I actually got 1v1 by the Convey in my mock. I believe it was like Hidden Power Ground, Calm Mind, a Synthesis with a Draining Kiss or something. So this set allows me to be able to 2-hit KO a Convey when I'm at +3 and he's at +1. And if he's running max HP and max special attack, even though he shares the same base speed as me, he's not going to be able to win that matchup if he doesn't run max HP and max special attack anyway. So that means I will guarantee outspeed it at 100% of the time. If I do run Scald, it's actually not a 2-hit KO if I'm at +3 and he's at +1. And so yeah, that was my idea there. So And because the fact that he has Triage alongside of Draining Kiss, he can just heal back a lot of health. So make Scald a 3. Like it might not be a 3-hit KO actually. It depends on how much investment he has. Obviously, it will make a Surf. It will make Surf a 3-hit KO as well. But the point is, because I do 2-hit KO him with Surf guaranteed if he doesn't go for a Draining Kiss or a Synthesis, so it actually pressure him to heal. So that was my idea there. If he doesn't go for a healing move, the turn that I go for Surf, the turn after I go for Surf, he will guarantee to get knocked out by my Surf. So that was my idea. So I can't believe I'm actually bringing Surf over Scald for once. And thankfully, the Nidoqueen will probably be Sheer Force, and it's not going to be able to freeze me, freeze my mana fee. So I don't see a point where I'll need Scald to break through the saw through the freeze. Anyways, so yeah, that's gonna be the builder for this week. It's kind of a long one simply because I brought a lot of heat, and the Raptors did lose 2 battles back to back. We'll see if the Raptors can bounce back this week against Fury. So yeah, that's gonna be Admin Crow here signing off. See you guys next time. Goodbye, technicians.